If you've just tuned in, it's time for another episode of AI Africa, your antenna in tech on the continent, with me, Kiamogetso Mosepele. In this week's segment, we speak to former senior executive at Google who spent 20 years at the technology giant as one of its earliest employees. We'll be talking to him about the impact advanced technologies are having on business. As always, you can let us know what you think on X using the hashtag AI Africa. But first up, Chanel AI has your latest updates. What's happening, Chanel AI?
Thanks, Kimo. And here's a wrap of what's trending in AI. Meta mandates disclosures for AI-created, altered political ads. Parent company of leading social media platforms Facebook and Instagram on Wednesday says advertisers will have to disclose when artificial intelligence, AI, or other digital methods are used to alter or create political, social or election-related advertisements on its social media platforms. This follows lawmakers in the US voicing their concerns about the use of AI to create content that falsely depicts candidates in political advertisements, as a slew of new, generative AI tools make it cheap and easy to create convincing deepfakes videos. Southern Africa make generative AI top investment. 71% of Southern Africa's CEOs are making generative AI a top investment priority, this according to the KPMG 2023 CEO Outlook Survey for Southern Africa. The study surveyed 1,325 CEOs across 11 markets in partnership Business Leadership South Africa. Multinational Professional Services Network KPMG says Gen AI is a growing key top investment for companies globally, with 28% of Southern Africa's CEOs believing it is a key benefit to increase market growth opportunities and 22% seeing it as a tool to bolster efficiencies and productivity within their organization through automated processes and operations. That's all from me, Chanel AI. You're up to date. Over to you, Kimo.
Now that you know what is trending in AI, we take you to a conversation on the impact of advanced technologies on businesses and how the workforce can prepare for a future driven by digital transformation and artificial intelligence. To discuss this and more, we take you all the way to Dubai, where my colleague Fifi Peters spoke to Ted Souder, former senior executive at Google and current board director of Incubator 1871.
AI itself isn't new. AI has been around for 50-something years. And all of a sudden, on November 22nd, I believe it was, when ChatGPT was launched, now everybody is talking about AI, and people are using AI, and startups are being created at a furious pace. So being a tech industry person, I'm incredibly encouraged. I think it's super, super exciting. And we're going to see new businesses, new opportunities, new jobs being created, probably at a most furious pace, unlike anything we've witnessed in maybe decades.
I'm glad that you did mention ChatGPT, because everyone has been talking about it. It's one of the buzzwords right now when you think about AI, and the conversation has been about whether it's all hype, everything that you are seeing right now, all the innovations that are coming out the space right now, or if it is the startup, a structural change or a new cycle to come. Which is it for you?
So maybe there's a little bit of both. That the excitement, the buzzworthiness of it is really at a 10 right now. And that's fine. At least more and more people are finding out about ChatGPT, generative AI, Google Bard, all these different products. I think that's a positive. What we're going to see, though, is as people start to use it, understanding that it's almost like having this superpower sidekick next to us throughout our entire work journey. And it's going to impact every single industry around the world. So I was just speaking on the main stage here at the Dubai Business Forum talking about Green Parking, which is a parking lot management company here in the UAE. They can use AI to understand traffic patterns within their parking lots to create maybe a dynamic pricing model. So you don't need to be just a big tech company to take advantage of this. There's an opportunity for everybody to use this superpower sidekick, and a lot of the products are free, to do things that you were really unable to do, or at least at scale, in the past.
So what's your take then on the usage of this superpower sidekick, as you're calling AI right now, on the usage and adoption? Just across the world, but zoning in specifically in Africa, because we hear quite a lot when it does come to technological development of any kind that the African continent has always been on the back foot and has been lagging what is happening in other parts of the world. Just your thoughts on that and whether there is any validity to that.
Sure. So I have lots of friends in Africa who are working on this specific problem, people based in Nairobi, Lagos, etc. The thing that is particularly interesting for me about the African continent and the opportunity is that 50-60% of the population or more is below the age of 18. So you have an entire generation of users that will know nothing but the power and capability of AI. It's not like older people like me that has to unlearn bad habits. It's an AI-first generation of users. So lots of work going into mobile devices, making that cheaper and easier to use. I'm willing to bet over time you're going to see, as data prices and bandwidth prices come down, you're going to see startups creating AI tools for people all throughout the continent, not just in the big major urban hubs. And that will proliferate out into the communities and neighborhoods throughout the country. So there's going to be a lot of growth opportunity. The big tech companies are investing a huge amount of money to make sure that there is more access, more equitable tech capabilities. We're all for that. But as I said earlier, the number of startups that are going to be created, the number of investors, entrepreneurs creating economic vitality and job creation to a population that's under the age of 18, it's absolutely endless.
Clearly mind-boggling there. But you were also speaking about the balance between embracing the benefits that this increased adoption of artificial intelligence and all the technologies that come with it will bring, with the risks. And I'd just like your thoughts on that balance between the benefits and the risks and what that looks like.
So there's, of course, going to be risks that comes with any sort of new opportunity. And a lot of the risks with AI are still yet to be determined. In a simple form, when people use some of these generative AI products, they have to recognize that they're not always going to get the right answer. Yesterday, I was helping my son who's applying to college, and we were counting words in an essay. I put it into ChatGPT, and it said 186 words. And he said, "Dad, no, it's 140 words." So they're not always right. There are going to be some challenges from an ethics standpoint. A lot of these large language models are trained on information that might have certain cultural biases based on wherever they are that the model is being developed. There are a lot of ethical concerns about how state, private, maybe darker network organizations are using AI models to reach a certain end result. So it's really important for governments around the world and private partners and foundations to come up with pro-growth policies, but how to make sure that AI is being used for the betterment of mankind, for the environment, the animals, etc., as opposed to dark and nefarious problems. There will be challenges that arise as the result of AI, some kinetic outcomes and things that we haven't yet understood, but we need to figure out a way to get around that.
I mean, just drawing on your experience as a Google executive, do you think that such policies currently exist anywhere in the world? Policies that don't necessarily stifle technological innovation, but policies that are mindful of some of the risks, particularly concerning ethics and biases that some of this technology can reproduce?
So that is top of mind for everybody. And there are really, really smart people pulling together varying opinions, backgrounds, experiences to make sure that we do come up with policies that will safeguard the proper use of AI in the future. Nowhere has a solution been defined.
Sure.
Europe has done a really good job, and Europe's done a really nice job overall of coming together to put together policies to safeguard the internet, innovation, et cetera. The United States is working on that. The Biden administration put together an AI task force to come up with new ideas that they announced the other day. All of the tech companies are working on it. There's efforts happening throughout the African continent to do the same thing. We don't have a solution yet. Yeah. And you and I can get together a couple years from now and we can say, wow, things have changed, or either we made a lot of progress, or we're like, ooh, we're not making progress. I don't know. Sure. But it is top of mind, and it's a really, really important topic.
Just a last question. Jobs, artificial intelligence and what it's going to do to the labor market. We're talking about increased efficiencies, being able to essentially work from anywhere in the world, but we're also talking about the possibility of a reduction in headcount, and just your thoughts on which outweighs what.
Yes. All of the above. So I can quote the World Economic Forum in their recent Future of Jobs report, which said of the businesses that they surveyed, 50% said AI will result in job growth, 25% it will result in job loss. It's one of those things that no one's really quite sure. Okay. What I do believe will happen is that you will see AI replacing jobs that might be more mundane, more repetitive, possibly dangerous jobs. Maybe that's a good thing, so we can put people's skills and time and effort to better use on higher ROI projects. It will impact creative industries like we're seeing in Hollywood in the United States. Mm-hmm. We will see it impacting things like farming and how we're able to do a better job of using pesticides or picking plants, et cetera. So it's going to impact a lot of jobs over time. My personal belief is because I'm a startup guy, I'm involved with the entrepreneurial community, that we're going to see more jobs created than jobs lost because there's so much opportunity to leverage this AI sidekick for growth and the betterment of humanity. So I'm very, very optimistic, but there is going to be some job realignment, and communities need to figure out how to adapt to that in the future.
Many thanks to Ted Souder for those insights, and that's how we wrap up today's episode. It's back to Power Lunch.